Okay, hi, my name is Leah Skurlock, and the experiment that I chose to do was sit in an area that I don't normally sit in, but someone else occupies. So just for some context, in my kitchen, there's like a kitchen table, and there are three seats, and my sister occupies one of those seats for work. And so I chose to sit in her seat. Now, I didn't sit in her seat for a long time. I would make sure to sit there whenever she got up to like either go to the bathroom or just got up just to get up to walk around or whatever. So whenever she got up, I decided to sit in her seat because I knew that she was going to come back and occupy that seat. I did this for 3 days just to see what kind of different reactions I would get. So, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And I also chose those days because those are the days that she's not necessarily that busy. Just for the sake of the experiment, I didn't want to get in her way or anything. So I was like, let me just choose a few days that aren't her busiest days. So Saturday, I think it was like in the afternoon time, I chose to sit in her seat. She got up and I just sat there just to see what would happen. And she came back, and I noticed that there is a bit of that nonverbal communication going on. She kind of stopped because she was like, "Hey, I didn't expect you to sit here." She stopped and she kind of gave me this look like, "Oh, you're not supposed to be sitting here," or that's how I interpreted it. So she gave me a look, and I knew the look, and I was like, okay. It wasn't like there wasn't any animosity or anything like that. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna let me get up and move. Okay. So day one, there's a little bit of that nonverbal communication, that taken abackness, and I got up and I just went on about the rest of my day. It was cool. Day two, which was Sunday, I think she was a bit more tired that day. So I did the same thing but at a different time. So it was more so around nighttime. Did the same thing. She got up and I decided to sit there in her seat. Same thing, kind of just like okay, just like a look. And then that look, it was like a quicker. It was it was just kind of more like, okay. So there's also more, there's still kind of like the same amount of nonverbal communication there, that look, but this time it was more of like, okay, please get out of my seat. So it was very that. And since she was tired, she probably just gave me that look just to be like, okay, get up. And I sat there for a little while longer than I did the first time. I don't think I sat in her seat while she was there for too long. So like right when she came, just for like a couple seconds, I sat and then I got up. This time I stayed seated for just a couple more seconds just to see how she would react. At first it was nonverbal communication, just that look of please get out of my seat. And then she ended up laughing it off. She said, "Leia, get out of my seat." And I was like, okay, sis, I'll get out of your seat. So third day, Monday, um, it was also in the middle of the day, and did the same thing. When she got up, I decided to sit in her seat. This time, there still wasn't any animosity, but there was no verbal communication. This time, she just laughed at me, "Leia, get out of my seat." And I was like, "No, you sit down." It was just that like sister banter. So first day, nonverbal communication. Second day, nonverbal communication mixed with verbal communication. Third day, all verbal communication. Okay. So the takeaway, like what I really thought about doing this experiment, was that like depending on your relationship with whoever you're doing that particular experiment with, you could get very different results. So just imagine if I wasn't in like a good place with my sister and I decided to conduct this experiment. An argument could have happened. There could have been animosity there. There could have been that uncomfortable nonverbal tension there. So it really could have been something completely different. Like the 3 days that I did it, it really just was like, okay, whatever, get out of my seat, you know. But had my relationship with my sister been completely different, or if it was with someone that I didn't know, like a student, or, if I was living in a dorm and I decided that, oh, I noticed that another one of my, suite mates or whatever that I don't really know that well is sitting in a specific place, let me try that. Uh, I could have either gotten a really negative reaction or, a positive reaction of, oh, okay, it's okay, I understand, so this particular experiment is can vary depending on the relationship you have with the person you are conducting this experiment with. I totally wouldn't suggest doing this experiment with someone that you're not necessarily close with or that you are at some sort of odds with, because it could go left extremely quickly. It could go left extremely quickly, but I was lucky enough to do this with my sister. My sister was cool about it. I didn't tell her it was an experiment or anything, and I didn't tell her until I'm filming this, which is a couple days after. Excuse me. So yeah, it was fun. It was cool and awesome.